Welcome, my Leos, to your December monthly zodiac sign reading. I'm Christine. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. We are going to tap into what messages the universe has for you for December. We are going to use some tarot and a few oracles. So let's get started and see what is happening, what you need to know, what is coming for you. I see my phone shaking. I have it on this little snake-looking stand. So my apologies for the shake. My tripod is currently occupied. Okay. We have the World card. These represent the fixed signs: Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. Got the Ten of Wands, more fire: Aries, Leo, Sag. The Lovers, Gemini energy, air. And we got the Tower card in reverse, Scorpio. Got a lot of fixed energy here, or solid signs. So there's perhaps something enduring that you may not want or have been resisting. Bottom of the deck, we've got Page of Wands, fire. Got the Justice card, Libra energy, Eight of Cups. Ooh, okay. My Leos, I feel like this concerns relationship or relationships for some. For others, it's going to concern where you put the most amount of time. That's going to vary for people depending on what season of your life you're in. Volunteer work, it could be schooling, it could be taking care of kids or being a caretaker, it could be working, it could be doing a bunch of all similar things. Wherever you put your time and energy in, there's some type of shift coming. The World, Ten of Wands. I don't have enough hands. We'll do these first. Something is coming to an end, a big cycle in your life, and I feel like it has to do with a pattern. It could be karmic. It could simply mean a cycle is closing out for you. It has to do with relationships. It could also have to do with where you put your time, like I mentioned. It could be a project that's culminating. It could be some type of, it's as if you have it's like a goal, something in progress. There's an enduring quality here. So like schooling, it could be a relationship as well. I got that. Platonic or romantic. It could be workplace. Wherever you put your energy in, which again, there's a lot of different places. Hold on. We can clarify. Let's clarify this energy. Can you tell us specifically what specific areas this is denoting? Thank you. We got King of Pentacles in reverse, Taurus energy. For many of you, this has to do with work. I'm getting place a foundation. It could be your own business. It could have to do with your work or career, which don't have to be the same, and also how you bring in your money. Something has shifted here. Your priorities have shifted. And I feel like something is coming to an end as a result. And I feel like many of you have seen the clock ticking, have seen this already coming. It's almost as if you're seeing the race and you're seeing the person finishing up, the last person, and you're like, they're almost there. I feel like you've sensed internally and intuitively that this cycle was coming to an end. Some of you have been preparing to leave a job, a career, making a move to another career or industry or field. Some of you too are shifting the way that you're bringing in money. So it could be maybe working in person, going remote, or vice versa. Bringing in new creative ways to increase your funds. There's so many different ways that are coming to me. Bottom line, though, there's some type of shift here. Same with relationships. Something in your value has shifted. And it's almost as if you may have been reflecting this and asking yourself, whoa, it's like you put up an on button or a light switch came on and all of a sudden you feel different. Because I feel like what's coming as a result of this is a change in what it is that you want to go toward. It's as if your goals have shifted. So you may have thought you wanted to be in the relationship that you're in or the job that you're in. You may have seen its longevity or sustainability for the long term, the long haul. But then it's as if all of a sudden you're like, you know what? This person is not the right person for me. I don't want to be at this job. I don't even want to be in this field. This is the type of energy that I'm sensing here. And what I see here is many of you are going to end this. There's a completion here. Either because we have the Tower reversed, I feel like this is what's coming. If any of you have been resisting this, which I sense here with this energy, because we have that here with the Lovers and the Tower card in reverse. I feel there's a resistance here. Some of you are planners. Some of you are controlling, or you may be trying to control this part of your life, where you're like, nope, it's going to go this way. We are going to see it through. It's as if someone makes a plan and they're like, by the time I'm 30, this is what it's going to look like for me. And I feel like something is coming in. Again, something is trying to change. And I feel like the universe is guiding you to change, which is ironic because in the beginning of this reading, with the King of Pentacles that I used to clarify, just the general energy, not any card, I feel like it's because of your underlying values that this is changing. This is ending for a new beginning. Something within you has shifted so much that you can no longer do what you're doing. It's as if when you realize, I want to have children, and the person that you're with and that you thought you'd be with for the rest of your life, they don't want children, or vice versa. Whatever the case, it's that type of energy where that value, that core value, has shifted so much that it shifts everything else. It's like a domino. You push the domino down and it hits everything else. And so when your values have shifted, you will increasingly and resoundingly get that reverberation within you. It's time to move on. It's time to change. You need to realign. And this is what's happening here. You've got a lot of cards indicating a finality of a cycle, of a situation, of a relationship ending here. And this is to bring you into balance. For some of you, this is also to help rebalance what's happening in your life. It could be a relationship too, because sometimes what you're in, you can still grow in that space, right? In that element, but it needs to take a different form. So that means being open with your partner or your boss at work. If you're like, you know what, I'm not really feeling this position. I want more responsibility. I would like more pay. I've been here X, Y, Z years, etc., etc. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to completely finish up and you're done with that. For some, I'm getting for quite a few it will be, but for many, it's transforming and changing. But there's a resistance here. With the Tower in reverse, some of you don't want this change. And sometimes we sense that with the solid energies because of the enduringness. There's a sense of safety and longevity. But I also feel like you may be asking yourself, well, why does it have to change? Well, when you get a plant and you see it growing, and maybe it's going from a seedling to a baby plant to a teenager plant, and now it's a big grown-up plant, think like a tree, it's not going to really do well in a little pot. It won't do well in the container that it came with. That's why for plants that tend to grow bigger, you have to repot them, right? And generally you have to nourish them with fertilizer or some plant food. Sometimes you have to be very particular about the container. And I only say that because I had to learn that with my plants. Sometimes you need a drainage system because the pot doesn't have that, etc. That's what's happening here. If you don't change this situation that you know that needs to shift because of your values, the universe, I feel, is going to intervene. So some of you have been receiving signs about this. I'm going to ask, why are my Leos resisting this change? Some of you, you're resisting this change. This is what I channeled. You're resisting this change because you know it's going to change the outcome, the environment that you're in. For some of you, that means you're going to have to physically move to a new job, like change jobs. For others of you, you know that the relationship or container that you're in is gone. It's dead. It's no longer working. Wow. So I asked, why are you resistant to this change? We got 2 of Cups and 4 of Wands. You already have the Lovers here. For quite a few Leos, this concerns a romantic partnership. Be your spouse, significant other, I don't care what it's called. Some type of union that you're in with someone else romantically. Some of you are resisting this because you may still have some type of idealization, perhaps some type of expectation or a potential in your head of how you expect things to play out. You may be trying to get the other person to see your values or to have the same values. And that's the tricky part, because they may not, especially if you've communicated this. I feel like you're still hoping for success. You're still hoping to stay together. And I feel like for those of you that are resisting this big time, there's a fear that you may not. I keep hearing that saying, what you let go comes around. It's that saying with love, relationships. What you let go of comes back to you if it's meant to. It's something like that. I'm also hearing some of you are focused on the present right now, having fun and not looking at the future. But with these cards, the World and the Ten of Wands, it's indicating this cycle has ended. Something needs to be put to death metaphorically in order for it to reemerge in a different way, in a different form. It's like when ice as a solid melts, it becomes liquid. And then it could become gas in another state, obviously, right? It's that type of energy here that's happening. For a small few of you, this is also about emotionally maturing and leveling up and getting your shit together in that way. And asking yourself, because this was clarifying, why are you resisting this change with the Tower card? Got a lot of relationship energy. It could be platonic too, like I mentioned earlier. For many, it's going to be some type of romantic connection. There's a leveling up required here, a balancing out, because something is off here. And I feel like it strongly has to do with a shift within yourself. Okay, let's move on and see what other messages the universe has for my Leos for December. What else do my Leos need to know? Okay, we got fellow travelers. Support is all around you. Got a lot of energies in your reading, Leos. Total opposite of Cancers, which I just did. Interesting, because look at the bottom of the deck of this. We got solitude. In silence, peace prevails. Some of you may have a strong link to Cancer. Maybe this other person or people are Cancerian. You may have other placements. Cancer, this was their main message, was solitude. Ironic how it's coming through here. Fellow travelers, support is all around you. Be careful of staying or feeling like you have to stay in some type of environment, work or a relationship or in any environment, because you feel like that's it. This is as good as it's going to get. Because I feel like, and there's a lot of rainbows. There's 2 rainbows, not a lot. But again, 2 is significant for you. 2 is a significant number. Some of you are seeing 2. A lot of rainbows. So some of you are really focused on connecting, on nurturing connections, on really fortifying. I'm hearing fortification of connections. These are spiritual connections, and also you're wanting deeper connections. Some of you may be holding on to people because you're afraid. Because this card to me speaks of knowing your priorities and values have shifted, knowing your worth, but you're not honoring that. You're not doing anything about it. When you let go of this, right? When the Tower card goes from this to this, when that energy, when you finally make that decision and say, you know what, I'm ready to make this change. I feel like that's when you are going to allow the universe, because you need space. Ever go on some type of road trip, or you pack your car or trunk or even your purse or diaper bag or whatever thing you carry too much, there's too much stuff and you don't have room, you can't fit anything else in. It's the same energy too with the universe. You may be wanting to call in something or someone that's more aligned. Again, job or relationship. And it could be plural too, with other people or opportunities, but it's you're still holding on. And energetically, that's what matters the most. It's not physically. Like you may not, you're like, no, well, we're done, but energetically is the most important thing here. Interesting, we have the peacock. I've heard some denotions, peacock and Leos, because of sometimes the flamboyant nature. But it's because Leo is ruled by the sun. And so for me, the sun, you get themes around, royalty, visibility, being seen. There's a sort or sense of leadership quality as well. Let's see what other messages the universe has for my Leos for December. What else do my Leos need to know? Okay, let's try this again. What else do my Leos need to know? Thank you. Oh, wow. Okay, you got 3 cards here. First one, we got Aquarius, the radical. Key terms associated with Aquarius. We have experimental, rational, unique, liberal, electric, group-oriented, humanitarian, free, radical, eccentric, diverse, futuristic, utopian, idiosyncratic, disruptive, edgy, and detached. We have opposition, balance. Key theme I already mentioned about balance and harmony with the 2s. Relates, mirrors, interacts, confronts, makes conscious, manifests, disciplines, conflicts with, tests, objectifies, calls out. There's a lot of S sounds. So in astrology and opposition creates, there's some sort of, it's almost like being pulled apart. That's what I energetically feel. And there's something that you're learning and gleaning from the other to reconcile. Almost reminds me of an 8, figure 8. Then we have North Node, destiny, soul school, learning curve, fulfillment, purpose, maturing, experience, fruition, North Star, process, development, practice, path, beacon, blossoming, becoming, integrity, and journey. So North Node, especially in more karmic evolutionary astrology, that's usually the point, the direction in which our soul is aiming for, is really wanting to nurture in this incarnation. Some of you may have North Node in Aquarius. You may be feeling some type of pull here, some type of tension. Again, this has to do with your values. Something is coming up around your values and what you're really wanting to prioritize that is really going to shift the themes I've mentioned before. And there's some type of reconciling here that has to happen. You need to either accept and fully acknowledge this, and as a result, make some changes. Or if not, I feel like things, it's almost as if, it's like a resistance. What's the best way to explain this? It's as if you have 2 opposing forces that you're trying to meld and blend together and make work, because that's where you get the harmonization factor. But you can't if the other situation or person involved is not willing to meet you in that same way, or they don't honor or have those similar values. There's something here that you're being called to do that's different. Because with Aquarius, it's also recognizing the past, which is, again, I got this longevity with you guys. You're holding on to something, and it could be because this particular situation or relationship has been in your life for a long time. But it's also about evolving. And with the Aquarian energy, it's almost as if, okay, yes, I was a computer from 1980, but I'm ready to reboot into the software from 2023. There's some type of upgrade or elevation that needs to happen in the container for this to continue evolving in the way that it can in its most optimal way. Otherwise, I feel like if it doesn't, it's going to lead to some type of stymie, like it's going to stagnate you. It's going to keep you stuck, and you don't want to repeat a cycle because the cycle is complete. Some of you, I feel like with this card, you've learned how to assert and stand up for what you believe and what you truly want, especially in work, money, financial situations, like really honoring your value and how much you're worth in terms of your salary and your earning, in terms of what you deserve. Same thing in relationships. Some of you may have kept quiet or really not expressed, this is what I need in this relationship. This is what I desire. It could mean, again, a certain degree of independence, having 3 dogs, having a kid, whatever. There's so many variables. There's something here that has to be done differently in order for this journey to continue developing. Some of you are feeling the strong pull. Strong pull. Interesting, because this looks like a journey itself. Some of you may go on a journey. You know, when just stuff starts happening in their life, or it could be a series of situations and people are like, you know what, I need to take time out for myself, whether it's a staycation or a pilgrimage of some sort where you spend time alone. Similar, a little bit of this Cancerian energy that I'm feeling. I'm getting, you know, those books where people go hiking and then they document it. It's that type of energy. There's something that has to change that may be so maybe diametrically opposed to what it is that you want, but you feel like this is what has to change or what has to happen. There's a little bit of a fear here too, because it's going to change the external. Let's pull some Awakening Soul Tarot and see what other messages the universe has for my Leos. It's when you know, finally, and I keep getting kids. So some of you, maybe because Leo has that energy of the inner child too, but I keep getting kids here. Some of you may finally realize, you know what, I want kids. But you realize maybe the person that you're with doesn't, and they're staunch about it. What do you do? How do you reconcile that? You can't change anyone's mind, and it's one of the most difficult things. There's one or the other that has to go. Okay. Let's take a look here. More messages. We got compassion. This looks like a little chimpanzee and a child. We also got boundaries. Look at that. Boundaries and compassion. I feel like because of the confluence of peopling in here and people energies, I feel like there's a dream here, perhaps a potential or a picture that you may have seen. You know, when people get into a job or a relationship or any dynamic here, because again, wherever you put your energy toward, you have this idea of how things are going to go. And I feel like all of us as humans romanticize this, some more so than others, but we think, oh, I met my perfect match, or I'm in my perfect job, and I can see myself growing in this company, or I can see myself growing old with this person. Then something happens that shatters that reality, and you're like, crap, I didn't see this. It can be something like your values have shifted. You've changed as people, because when we grow, we shift. And generally, people can work through that. That's the thing. But what I'm getting from your reading is many of you are realizing something huge in your values. This isn't just, oh, I like vanilla now and not chocolate only. I'm open to trying new ice creams. This is a big life shift. Like, I want kids and this partner doesn't want kids. It's a big one. Some of you may want to move and the other person doesn't want to move. Some of you want to travel and the other person's like, nope, I don't want to travel. It's that diametrically opposed energy, and there's some type of balancing that needs to come together. I feel like, my Leo, some of you want to embark on something completely different. Some of you may be going through your opposition. I'm hearing Uranus opposition, or some type of major transit that's really asking you. It's akin to those midlife crisis energies, but again, I feel like it can happen at those types of energies can happen in distinct moments. For some, it could be Saturn return, because the traditional ruler of Aquarius is Saturn, and modern astrologers describe Uranus as the co-ruler of Aquarius. So there's something big. It's like a turning point happening here. And I say this because the vision that you may have had for this situation, this container, it may not come to fruition in the way that you want. Oh, I'm getting sadness, a lot of sadness, grief, nostalgia, disappointment. So it's important that you really hold space for yourself like you would a loved one. Ask yourself, how can I best support myself during this time? How can I best support myself as if I were supporting a friend or someone you care about, or my pet? Because I feel like this really touches deeply, perhaps your inner child. Some of you are also learning to assert yourself and realizing it's now or never. With the North Node energy, you may just be feeling a strong pull right now. Again, I mentioned some of you may have your North Node in Aquarius, perhaps South Node too, or vice versa. But we have the North Node currently, it's transiting Aries. We have the South Node in Libra. So there's a strong, this is collective because it'll change. It'll have a different effect, I should say, depending on where it hits in your natal chart. But there's a strong collective dominion on asserting yourself, speaking your truth, owning who you are individually and in containers with others and relations with others. And some of you are realizing that you've just changed. Bottom line, you've shifted, you've changed, your priorities have changed. Let's see what Archangel Michael has for you. What does Archangel Michael want my Leos to know? You got 2 cards again. 2's maybe something specific for my Leos. We got 38, which reduces to an 11. Yes, you are correct. You have listened to your inner guidance and made a wise choice. Keep moving forward. For some of you, this may be confirmation about, do I stay or do I go? Is what I'm feeling true for me? Is what I'm feeling correct? The answer is yes. You have it all within you. That's the thing. I always like to say I use tarot and oracle readings and encourage others to use them as a form of guidance, of empowerment, of clarity during times when you may not see clarity or see what's going on. Never use it as a way to fit things into that or to control your emotions or any of that. We finally have 10. Got another 10 here. Got 10 of Wands. Look what we have here. Don't settle for less. You are a child of the divine and you deserve to have your dreams come true. Don't give up. We have boundaries and compassion, and we have a child here. And I mentioned inner child. Whole focus on children. If you've noticed, if you've stayed with me through the end, focus on children here. So some of you, your values, again, these are big. Some of you may want marriage, the other person doesn't want it. Kids, the other person doesn't. We can go on. There's a lot of different traces here. The point is, it's about honoring yourself, having compassion for yourself for what may not be, for what wasn't, and allowing yourself to honor who you are, because that's where the boundaries come in. That goes to and connects to your core values too. You got to protect them. And you're being guided to really recognize that. And sometimes it's painful with every ending, but we have butterflies here. Got strong denotion of transformation. This situation that you're in has the potential to transform, but more importantly, I feel like it's you that's transformed. Energetically, you may have upgraded. It can be difficult, I'll say, when you've upgraded and you have perhaps up-leveled or ascended in your journey, because everyone has their own journey to work on. And sometimes for other folks, we can only hold that container with love, with compassion, with empathy, but we have to continue onwards without them. So this is a reminder that you need to honor yourself first and foremost in this journey. Let's pull a final message of advice. Final advice message, please, for my Leos. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Bottom of the deck, we have Page of Swords, 8 of Coins, and 10 of Coins. I can't believe it. You got 2 of Cups. You got 2 of Cups here. Then you had the Lovers before. Your advice is about finding balance, because something here is not in balance. Something here is feeling off, and I feel like it has to do with this priority, with this value shift. I'm not going to repeat it again, but I feel like you know what it is, what you want. You know what it is that you want. And you're being advised to go towards that, to make the decision that's going to bring you the most peace, the most joy, the most content, that's going to feel emotionally good. It's coming together with yourself, unto yourself. This is an act and a decision where you're honoring yourself first. And sometimes it means honoring yourself as it does sometimes breaking your heart because the things that you want may be, again, I'm hearing diametrically opposed going forward towards what is or what can be offered to you at this time. My Leos, I hope this reading has helped. Comment down below if this has helped in any way. Let me know what's going on. I always love engaging with you. If this has helped in any way, I would love it if you could support me and my growing channel by hitting the thumbs up button. Consider hitting the little bell thingy if you'd like to be notified of future videos. And as always, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the month. I'll see you soon.